Living on the edge. For some, it's a phrase that conjures up an uncomfortable sense of risk and uncertainty. For others, it represents the only sure path to experience life's full potential. But when it comes to the impact of artificial intelligence on the future of IoT, there's really only one way to look at it. The edge is where the action is. It's the edge where unprecedented amounts of data will not only be generated and collected, but where the critical decisions directing autonomous vehicles and devices must be determined in a matter of milliseconds. Where businesses and enterprises worldwide will seek to carve out their own unique competitive advantages with the power of data. And while the immense value of the data center will continue to grow for decades to come, many of AI's most promising contributions to the IoT revolution will require the development and distribution of specialized compute resources. Resources designed to enable an exciting new era of opportunity and growth for businesses everywhere, and built right into the farthest reaches of the network and its ever-expanding edge.
The edge is where the action is. So Albertus, what if you could have a virtualized platform on the edge running all your control system software, HMI faceplate, standard control libraries with asset management, data collection, and historian? And what if all of that could be ready for you to configure within 8 hours?
Wow, Michelle, that sounds like a no-brainer. Normally a system like that to put together takes days and weeks with all that functionality.
Hi, I'm Michelle Rigby from Rockwell Automation.
Hi, and I'm Albertus Weber from Stratus Technologies. And together, we are going to show you today an IoT-ready solution on the edge, what we call the solution-in-a-box. So, Michelle, tell me, what will your customers get out of this system?
That is, improved operational value and quality using a library of control objects, globally available delivery and support from both Stratus Technologies as well as Rockwell Automation, and a plant-wide scalable and secure system complying to international standards. Through the use of system design, deployment and verification tools, the customer will have his risk mitigated, and it will lower his total cost of ownership.
Well, all this sounds very great. So tell me a bit more. What does the solution consist of?
Well, it consists of a Stratus Edge virtual solution running up to 3 virtual images, a plant PAX, process automation system server, a domain controller, as well as a remote desktop server.
Why edge computing? Edge computing is an infrastructure, as with the ZTC Edge server, that is very simple to deploy. It has got a built-in virtualized platform that is ready to go. No additional cost is required to license this built-in virtualized environment. We can easily protect the ZTC against threats. It's got a built-in firewall that will protect it at security risks. It operates autonomously, so it monitors itself. It will actually alert Stratus or alert the customer if something is not 100% correct with the ZTC Edge. It will try to fix itself, but when it gets to a point where a node needs to be replaced, it is simple maintenance that can be applied to the ZTC Edge by just changing the node. It is hot swappable, so Stratus will send a new node to the customer. By then he would just need to plug out the cables, existing cables of the old node, and plug in the new node, put the cables back in, and wait until the system is synced up without the need of plugging in a laptop or doing any monitoring of the system itself. The health monitoring and managed support is a big function of Stratus technology, which helps us to take care of the hardware for the customer, so the customer does not need to worry about the hardware itself. And of course, a very cost-effective system being deployed right at the edge. Right, so what about the simplified virtualization? It is built on KVM technology. So after deployment, the system is ready to actually install its first virtualized platform or virtualized VMware image. And we support both Windows as well as Linux guest systems. We also support on the ZTC the import of OVFs and OVAs, including vSphere images. And no redundant mode or clustering is needed to be configured, because the system will take care of that automatically for you at the initial deployment. And of course, the big thing is the hot swappable, self-recognizing and auto-synchronization between the two nodes. So with regards to the simplification, when you take the ZTC out of the box, it is a matter of plugging in a node or choosing a node, which one you want to be the primary. And there's actually a nice leaflet that comes with the ZTC with 6 simple steps to follow in order to deploy the system. These 6 steps will take you less than 30 minutes, and after that 30 minutes you are ready to actually run your first virtualized environment or deploy your first virtualized environment. The ZTC Edge server comes into 2 models. The model that we are looking at today is the 110i ZTC Edge. It is got a processor requirement of 12 virtual CPUs. It is got a memory capability of 64 gig of memory and a total of 2 terabyte usable hard drive space. This device is very nice in the sense that it is very low powered. Right, so in total you can run both these nodes at a total wattage of about 120 watt on 24 volts. The system is very versatile in that sense that you don't need a lot of power in order to run this. So this can really be installed at the edge, right next to your PLC, out in the field, away from a lot of power. It can really be powered by solar panels if need be. Right, and then the big advantage is that if a customer does not have the initial outlay of cost to deploy a full-on system, he can also opt for a single node option, and at the later stage he can actually upgrade with in less than 10 minutes and 4 easy steps to go from a single node to a full system, which will give him the high availability or fault tolerance he requires. That is really straightforward, really easy, which you will not be able to do with any traditional system. Alright, so in total, the solution benefits. Right, intellectual property. Now all your software and hardware intellectual property are in one locked cabinet. Right, you can really install it right at the edge. You do not need a server infrastructure or a server room to be able to deploy the ZTC itself. It is a virtualized server. Of course, virtualized environments are really taking over the market and are the best solution for a IIoT or an automation environment. And then of course remote management can be done by the customer themselves, by support system integrators, and of course the monitoring gets done by Stratus itself. Recovery, it is so easy to recover the system. If a node fails, we as Stratus will get an alert to look at the node. If we cannot repair the node remotely, we will then send a new node for the customer to easily just swap the old one or the faulty one with the new node that he will receive. And of course, we do think about security, because that is also a risk if you deploy ZTC Edge systems. And with the ZTC has got a unique built-in firewall capability where you can actually blacklist and whitelist IP addresses and have certificates in order to open the actual web interface. So very secure in that sense. And then of course IT and OT, keep IT networks separate from OT environments. It has got multiple network ports, so you can actually do that. And of course it's easy of use you do not need a lot of IT skills in order to actually deploy the system or maintain the system for that matter. And then of course mounting, it's got a lot of mounting options. You can either install it flat on a flat surface, or it has got DIN rail mounting clips as well as wall mounting. So really versatile with regards to the mounting side of it. And then of course self-monitoring is a big thing about Stratus in general, with regards to our high-end server levels as well as the ZTC H device. It is autonomous. It monitors itself, it will look at itself, try and repair itself, and if not, it'll alert Stratus so that we will then intervene and either look at what's the problem and see if we can fix it, or send a new note to the customer, which is then easy to swap out. Alright, the cloud service is part of this whole self-monitoring, where we do the monitoring, so the customer has got the option for us as Stratus to monitor it. We do know and are aware that some customers do not see the need or do not want to actually connect their edge devices to the internet, which we also took care of. And within the Stratus ZTC Edge server, you can simply set up an SNMTP or mail server in order to actually send out those alerts and audit logs to the customer himself, and then in turn the customer can let us know if something needs to be done on the ZTC Edge. Alright, that in a nutshell is the ZTC Edge solution. Great, powerful, easy to deploy, and very cost effective.
So where does the solution in a box fit in the Purdue model? Typically, our solution would cover from 1.5 all the way up to level 3, encompassing all the configuration software for the controllers and some of the hardware that you would find in your plant at level 1 and level 0, as well as your supervisory and control level, in other words your HMI, and then your site manufacturing and operations and control system level as well. So that would be your historical data collection and reporting level. What are the software components that make up this solution? Well, typically at the core we have our process automation system server, which has engineering and configuration on it, reporting, data collection, asset management, and operational visualization. If we look at Rockwell automation software terms, we're saying it has Studio 5000, FactoryTalk Vantage Point, Historian, Asset Center, as well as FactoryTalk View SE. Depending on the system size, we need to add a domain controller as well as the manager on our remote desktop server to make the system a bit larger. So the first software component consists of a PLANTPax consolidated process automation system server version 4.6 running on a Windows 2016 machine. So they consolidated servers into a single server for smaller applications, and it's deployed as a single server. So all of the different applications that used to run as a distributed system are now consolidated into one single system called a consolidated PAS. And the benefits of this is that we can have the full functionality of a distributed system and at a reduced cost. So the main software component is the Consolidated Process Automation System Server, version 4.6. They consolidated all the different servers of a larger distributed system onto a single server called PAS-C, Consolidated Server. The benefits of doing this was that you could have your full functionality of the large system at a reduced cost. You would have the identical capabilities that you would have had on a large system, but now scaled down to a smaller system. Server consolidation allows you to provide full DCS functionality in a very cost-effective way, making sure that you get the full value from your investment, no matter how small, to mitigate forward. So what is this consolidated system server? It forms the heart of the system. The server has 5 software elements: the Process Automation System Server, or the HMI server, a FactoryTalk Asset Center, which is your asset management, then data collection consists of FactoryTalk Historian, and the Vantage Point is your reporting side. And then for configuration, we use your Studio 5000 as well as your View Studio software. It comes as a Windows 2016 bootable ISO file, and it's pre-installed on a configured system and optimized for small architectures. The system has been tested and documented with maximum limits up to 2000 IO points, up to 5 redundant Logix controllers, as well as 10 View SE clients and 5000 Historian tags. You can purchase the virtual image as a Windows Server ISO file, and it comes on a nice pluggable USB that you can use straight into your Stratus Edge server. The second software component will be your domain controller. So when the architecture consists of more than 10 servers or clients, a domain controller is recommended by Rockwell and Windows. A domain controller needs to respond to authentication requests and verifies users on that network. So the DC must also be configured to include domain name services, and that lets you identify devices by name rather than IP addresses. So this is mandatory for a FactoryTalk platform. We use the preloaded clean Windows 2016 image templates to set up your domain controller. The default PLANTPAx security groups and users required to run the system can be set up very quickly and very simply with the use of the deployment documentation that is supplied. Join the other servers of solution, like the RDS and the PAS-C, to this domain controller for central management and security. So the third software component, which is optional, is our RDS server, or remote desktop server, on which we will be running our Thin Manager software. So when the architecture consists of more than one operator workstation or engineering workstation, we make use of Thin Manager, which will extend the system up to 10 clients. Thin Manager enables a secure, centralized configuration and delivery of these HMI clients, reporting clients, and or engineering applications to various Thin clients or mobile devices. Thin Manager can help us, the customer, with central device management, and when Thin Manager is deployed to this in the solution, a domain controller image is recommended. Our VersaView Thin clients are recommended to run with Thin Manager as they are Thin Manager ready. They work exclusively with Thin Manager software, providing an ideal single platform for the industrial applications. It's ideal for distributed applications like FactoryTalk View Site Edition, and it reduces the hardware and management costs to deliver reduced cost of ownership. In this solution, we can deploy up to 10 operator workstations. Optionally, we can offer remote access via a cellular unit from ProSoft called ProSoft Connect. It integrates via cloud-native platform for the industrial Internet of Things. It uses IP whitelisting and specifies which end device's IP addresses can be accessed. Ethernet ports can be configured as a LAN, WAN, wired or wireless connection to the ProSoft Connect system. It also uses something called virtual lockout tagout when creating secure remote access connections. It also supports SMS messaging for your controllers or your PLCs using Ethernet IP or Modbus TCP. Single secure single or dual open VPN connections over internet and cellular links for remote site access to corporate networks can be created, and it supports NTP client and server functionality as well. So let's look at some of the architecture options for the solution-in-a-box. So at its smallest end, we have a standalone solution, and the suggested limits here can be up to 500 I/O points, 2 Logix controllers, HMIs with 1 integrated client, external access via web reports, and you can have up to 1,000 historian tags, and it then can run on your Stratus Edge solution in a single or fault-tolerant mode. At its very largest size or maximum size, we recommend that the system's limits of 2,000 I/O points, 5 Logix controllers, and up to 10 HMI clients are not exceeded. You can have external access via web reporting as well, including 5,000 historical tags as data collection. And here we can run it on the Edge solution in single format as well as in HA format. The manager now can be used to extend the system up to 10 clients. The solution-in-a-box can really be scaled up and out. So if we want more systems on a plant, we can scale out in terms of rubber stamping. So we can copy the system over and over again on different sites and connect them together. Or if we really wanted to, we can export all of the VMs to an FT server and scale up into a data center. An example architecture was created with the use of the PLANTPAx estimator in our integrated architecture builder. And as you can see, this is a medium-sized system and it's pretty large. So this system will cover just about a lot of the systems out there. So if we have a look at the workflow for our solution-in-a-box, we can see that we start off defining and procuring the system, and there's a selection guide for both the ZTC as well as the PLANTPAx system. Then we move on to deployment and the preparation of our infrastructure, and for that we have detailed guides on how to set up all our virtualized templates. And then the development can start, and for that there's also a large range of documentation for you on the system. And then lastly, we have verification tools that you can also use to make sure that the system you have deployed complies to what you have defined in the first step. So all in all, the deployment and the preparation of the system on the ZTC with the 3 virtual images is the portion that can take up to less than 8 hours. So let us have a look at what we have in the system to help us with configuration, licensing, pricing, and delivery. PLANTPAx system has comprehensive sets of design tools. We use our PLANTPAx estimator to accurately design the system for you. It includes selection of the consolidated pairs, as well as the addition of motor control devices, as well as the addition of Thin Manager and its clients. We have comprehensive set of guides, as well as how to use the virtual templates. And the guides help us every step of the way, from the profiles, helping us with accurate selection, through user manuals and detailed steps. So how is this software delivered? The virtual image templates are delivered via physical media. A USB flash drive with 64 gigs will be loaded with the ISO file for the consolidated PAS. The only thing not included will be the Microsoft licensing. You will require a valid serial number and a product key to be able to download this via the electronic software delivery mechanism from our PCDC site. So the PLANTPax system helps you with many tools to help you engineer faster. Some of the configuration tools that you can use for bulk engineering is called Application Code Manager. We also have the alarm builder in the download for the PLANTPax objects, which will help you do bulk engineering as well as configure alarms and historical tags. So the general Rockwell software licenses that you would normally buy for any system are still valid for this solution. You can license your asset management, historian, and reporting software through the normal catalogs, whether it's from your distributor or via the portal. You will be able to buy the necessary software to license your solution in a box. The Stratus elements you'll be able to purchase either through distributor or directly from Stratus. So the Microsoft OS licensing will be able to be purchased from Stratus, directly from Stratus, or through the Stratus distributors. Depending on the size of your system, you will need various quantities of your OS licenses, as well as CAL licenses and RDS licenses, depending on the type of clients you are going to be connecting to your system. So for instance, for a large distributed system, you will need at least 2 Microsoft OS licenses to run your 3 virtual images. You will need Excel, 32-bit versions. You will also need some Microsoft CAL licenses for client applications like Vantage Point and Asset Center. And then definitely you will be needing your remote desktop server licenses for your thin manager clients. So PLANTPax can be learned through Rockwell Automation's cloud-based infrastructure training system. Contact anybody at Rockwell to help you register for some of the RACBI labs, and it will help you with learning how to use the system, how to apply it, how to engineer it, and how to deploy such a system. Any RA representative can make the system available for our partners, and we can also arrange for even some exams to be taken and certification to be made for our partners.
Great, Michelle, thanks a lot for giving us some clarity and explaining us the solution in a box and what this can actually achieve or mean to the customers and to the system integrators deploying this solution in a box. Hopefully our customers and our system integrators and partners out there have got now a good understanding of the solution in a box and what it can actually help them or empower them in deploying a good standardized solution for their customers. And for a customer, having a good standardized solution puts them on the edge, I reckon. What do you think?
Absolutely, Albertus. Thank you so much for your time as well today. And if anybody is interested in any of these solutions, please contact your local Stratus or Rockwell representative. Thank you.